You know, we're moving along here. My guy, Chris. How you say your last name?
Rose. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. R-O-S-E.
Please spell it.
Yeah.
R-O-S-E?
Yes.
No, that's not the common spelling.
Chris Rose joins
Rose.
us.
There's a little, there's a little
Chris
accent
Rose
at the end.
joins us on the Tomahawk Show. A huge fan. Can we call this the best? We call our show the best damn podcast in NFL
That's good.
history. So
we'll be killing you for copyright infringement.
But we changed a little bit. We still get killed.
A little bit. I think so. I think they're going to come after us, but we got that big legal team behind us. I like our chances.
We'll smash you.
I like the Fox lawyers in that one. in that game, I think I like that. I like that, but you never know. You never know. So how's it going for you guys?
Doing real good. We're enjoying it. We've had like 5 or 6 Cleveland guys on today. Yeah. It's been a lot of fun talking Cleveland. For me, being there 11, 12 years.
So who are we talking about? I mean, I saw Kareem Hunt.
Travis Kelce.
Okay.
Latimer.
Now, did they grow up true Browns fans?
Some of them
did, some didn't.
But that's the sad thing, unfortunately, about the state of the Browns.
Right.
Is all these guys that are like in their early 20s have known nothing but losing.
Yes.
And their parents are Browns fans, but they're not Browns fans.
Okay.
We've sort of lost a generation.
Yes, we have. So let me fill you in a little bit. I just turned 47. Mm-hmm. My family had season tickets from 1946 when they started until they left in 1995.
Wow.
I went to virtually every Browns game when I grew up from being a teenager till I went to college. I was in Section 37, Row 2, Seat 1 when John Elway drove down our throats.
Oh, wow.
I was there the week before when we had 2 seats there in Section 37, 2 in Section 35. My brother was home from winter break from college when Freeman McNeil scored the touchdown in the divisional round to put the Jets up 20-10 with less than 6 minutes to go. I went over to his seats and I said, I can't take this. We got to get the hell out of here. He said, sit your ass down. I don't get to go to enough games. They came back. They won 23-20 in overtime. And I thought the next week when Brian Brennan caught the touchdown to put us up 20-13 with 5 and change to go, I remember telling myself, I was like, we're going to the freaking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like I was just about to turn 16, and I was like, this is going to be unbelievable. I'm trying to think, like, how do I convince my parents to go out to Pasadena and to play the Giants in the Super Bowl? And then it just all came
Now, did you go to the last game in '95?
I did not. I was actually just starting my on-air television career, so I was working in Reno, Nevada. But I did get back for the last Browns-Steelers game, and it was one of the coolest moments ever because, it's the hated Steelers. Like, sometimes my parents wouldn't even let me go to the games when I was 10 because there were so many fights in the stands.
Yep.
Like, one guy got his ass kicked so bad, my mom was like, that's it. And they started lighting a Steelers banner on fire inside the stadium. I was like,
oh, wow.
This is cool. She's like, let's take little Chrissy home. But it was one of the coolest things ever because the last game we played against them in '95, a lot of Steelers fans came and they were wearing orange armbands. Basically saying, like, what are we going to do? Like, who are we going to hate now?
Right.
So
that is cool.
It was cool.
So what's your greatest Cleveland sports memory then, going all the way back to your childhood? Do you have one that really sticks out in your mind when you think back?
Well,
you're like, that's my favorite memory, being a Browns or a Cavs or an Indians fan.
Well, let's start. Yeah, I mean, because it's all three. Just uber passionate. And I've lived in L.A. for 2 decades now, but both my boys bleed brown and orange and tribe and Cavs. Yeah, I mean, it's everything. So, and that's what I'm most proud of is because, they could have gone elsewhere, but they didn't want to. They wanted to stay with what Dad's been a part of. I mean, we had a Steelers game where we beat them in overtime where Webster Slaughter caught a great touchdown. It was like one of those 4 o'clock late starts where the Browns were like, they were kind of the thing, back in the 80s. I would say that Jets win, though, was unlike anything I had ever seen. So that was the capper for that. The Indians sucked. The first 24 years of my life, they didn't finish higher than 4th in their division, which is kind of hard.
That's wild.
Like, you have to try to be that bad for a quarter century, which unfortunately is almost been duplicated.
This is getting awkward.
Which has almost been duplicated. And then I was actually at the shot by Michael Jordan, too. Wow. Section 131, row T, seat
You're breaking
16.
my heart, man. I don't know if we should have brought you on.
What do you mean? I'm the model of perseverance.
What
we're
they should
fighting
do?
through.
Right.
They should, when rookies get drafted to Cleveland, they should bring you in to tell these stories to because it really makes you understand, like,
you understand where the fans are coming
where
from,
they're coming from,
where their passion is.
So it doesn't seem like these guys are just crazy. Like, this is what you live through.
So what is it like for you guys? Like, when you played there and now that you're still there, and we have to talk about still playing, please. So leave me like 90 seconds for that. When you're walking around What is the reception?
Well, it's so funny. We talk about this on the show. Like, for me, for some reason, nobody ever stops me.
Yeah.
I don't know if they don't recognize me or if I just have a scary face.
You're so hard to recognize.
Scowl all the time. But I hardly ever get stopped. And so I just feel like a real regular person, cruising around Cleveland. But Hawk tells me he gets stopped
because there's a lot of
constantly.
6'6", 300-pounders.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny, though. He's always getting stopped. Even when we were on the airport on the way here yesterday, he had like 5 people stop him and tell him about the podcast.
No, we love the podcast.
They're
and
talking
I'm on
about
the
his
plane.
TV stuff.
I think it's because I'm way, I'm 5'7".
Right.
So I'm way more approachable than the 6'8" ogre who comes think you're going to punch him in the face. But being in Cleveland, especially I remember in 2014, we started the season 7-4.
Yes, we did.
We were rolling. Everything was great.
Mm-hmm.
I would go to Cavs games, and I would feel like I finally am an NFL player because people were just so happy for you to be around.
Mm-hmm.
They were so – and I didn't understand it then. I was just like, man, Cleveland this is an awesome place to play professional sports. But then when you start losing, they still feel that passionate, but you feel the damper come through, and it's just like, yo, you guys are really disappointing us now. And
do you have a good therapist?
And I stopped going out.
My wife is sick of hearing about things, I think.
Right.
She's
like, that's what I'm saying.
You need to pay somebody.
Dr. Annie.
I'm tired of hearing about it.
Yeah, let's spend a little of the $80 million on a therapist.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Okay, in Cleveland, in L.A., they'll go through the $80 million quickly. Where you live in Cleveland,
you get a good one
good.
for,
you can
$10,
get
$15 an hour.
Absolutely. No, you're good. You're good. That's the way I'd go.
That's funny, man. If we get all the guys who grew up in Cleveland to play for the Browns, we'd be in really good shape.
I'm trying to think if any of them have played under center.
Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Right? All right.
There you go.
Good one.
Something to build on.
All right. I met Sam Darnold last night.
What'd you think?
Thoughts?
It was interesting. So I host a show, Super Bowl Prime for NFL Network. So it's Dion, LT, and myself. And so we had heard he was a little nervous. He's 20.
Yeah.
This is a big leap for them to come to this sort of event. And boom, all of a sudden they're thrust in the middle of this thing. He's sitting in between Dion and LaDainian Tomlinson. I was thinking, God, what's going through his head right now? It's two, human Canton, Ohio busts sitting next to you. And we're talking about two of the greatest of all time. And I actually thought he handled himself well. You can tell that he's got a lot of leadership qualities. He's young. He looked like he should have been going to the 300-level biology class right after we got done with him.
Wow.
We got done with him.
Is that who you want your pick to be?
Well, that's a great question. The Browns have an unbelievable amount of salary cap space and draft picks this year. What would you like to see them do this offseason that would give you optimism and hope for 2018 and beyond?
I was hoping that we were going to trade for the guy that the Redskins just traded.
And I think that was the natural fit everyone thought. With
absolutely,
John
because
Dorsey
you're talking
coming.
about a guy who's mid-30s, who can still play, who's a great guy, an amazing team. You didn't hear boo the minute they drafted Patrick Mahomes. You didn't hear anything. There was no whining excuse me. He just did his job, had a great year. I'm happy he got his money and all that sort of stuff. But I thought he was the perfect one. Now what do you do next? Because unless they get uber creative, there's a drop-off from Alex Smith to who's next, unless you're going to throw $130 million at Kirk Cousins, which I know that if you come back and play.
Which we could give him a signing bonus of $118 million
and
this year.
Yes,
and then he'd play for $1 for the next 10 years.
Right. We need to get it right.
Yeah.
And I don't know, when you could have just handed in the card on Carson Wentz and you could have just handed in the card on Deshaun Watson, that's what gets frustrating here
I think
for us.
I feel like when GMs or front offices, when they get in those situations where, especially in Cleveland, where the quarterback, we're all searching for this quarterback, right? We're searching for this next guy. I feel like people are scared to pull the trigger because it's like, if I tie my ass to this guy and he's not any good, I'm leaving with him.
And
so
that's your name forever.
If you can prolong that and say, okay, I'll wait till year 3 or 4 or 2 to get a guy, you feel like it gives you a better shot.
But here's the thing. So if you're Kirk Cousins, do you want to come to Cleveland? I'm just playing this out. Unless the money is so different.
Yeah.
And we're talking about significant $30, $40 million over the lifetime of the contract. That's what the Browns have to do. Unfortunately, John Dorsey's in the position where the predecessors kind of screwed him up.
Well, I think what you could sell to a guy like Kirk Cousins is you come here, you want to talk about making a name for yourself, becoming a legend, having a legacy of turning this franchise around, which we have the ammunition to do it.
Yes. So here's the deal. Sign Cousins, draft Barkley at 1, get Fitzpatrick out of Alabama at 4, get the best receiver at 33, and then whatever else you need at 35.
Hey, my guy.
You
That's
think that's
exactly
Did I
what
talk
I
you
would
back
say.
into coming back now?
Hey, I love that. That's
Sounds like you
exactly
got
what I've
yourself
been
a
saying.
left tackle.
Because you got the money, pay Kirk. Now you got the quarterback, and you don't have to spend any assets. And then you've got a known quality at quarterback. If you draft one of these guys first or fourth, you still don't know if they're going to be good enough to play in the NFL.
Right.
If you
It's a
sign
coin
Kirk,
flip.
you can't draft Darnold at 1.
No,
That's
no,
why
you
I'm
wouldn't.
saying you
That's what I'm
don't.
saying.
You
go to
don't
Saquon
have
Barkley.
to.
Yeah.
You got the hardest position.
What about sign
checked off.
Tyrod, sign draft Darnold at 1?
You can do that. but
Tyrod's
it's,
too young. I thought if you
He
go Alex
could be
Smith,
a bridge guy.
I
Right.
thought Alex Smith could
Was
be
the
the bridge
perfect
guy,
one.
and then you draft a number one
The only other
quarterback.
thing is that maybe you do Case Keenum.
Yeah,
I
he
like
would
that.
be a
That's the
good
only other-
bridge guy.
I know we got to wrap up, but can I ask you
Sure.
when you make your decision?
I'm getting closer, but I'm not ready to make any decisions. But I'm trying to give the Browns as much warning as possible in case I do decide to retire.
Okay.
So
Because I was
sooner
thinking about
the
that. I
better.
was doing triceps this morning, so I was
yes.
thinking about it.
How do you like that little scar there? It's getting better. I still have sort of like a little chicken wing over there, but it's getting better.
That used to be called an elbow.
Yeah, right.
I don't know what
it's
we.
kind of
what-
embarrassing.
What
right
that
now,
is right
but-
now.
That was nasty. Guys, continued success. Have fun. That's the important thing.
We appreciate it.
All
we
right.
appreciate you joining us here on the Tomahawk Show.
Yeah, I see you fisheye in my text.
Yeah, your snap's blowing up. That's all I'm
That's
saying.
all right. Wait till I post a picture of the two of you. Then it'll be going crazy.
When you're on the Tomahawk Show, your profile
hashtag
goes up
Tomahawk.
a little
Yeah.
bit.
So
Chris
let's-
Rose, we appreciate you.
exactly. Have a nice glass of that. Guys, thank you. Continued success, and
Go Browns.
please come back.
Go Browns.
Thank you so much.
All right.